Freshlist.io.
Hello everyone and welcome to the latest episode of You Deserve Fresh Lettuce. I am your co-host Rachel.
I'm Dahlia.
In this episode we're going to be talking about, for every beautiful woman out there is a man who is tired of
Banging her.
bang bang, she bang.
Bang, bang.
If you're not doing
Sleeping
so,
with her.
if you're not
Okay.
doing so already, please follow us on social media across all platforms at YDFL Podcast. You can also listen to the show on your favorite podcast platform, including
Alexa, you can listen to us. Oh, YouTube. Sorry, not yeah. So
Alexa and
YouTube. But we're trying to grow our following, and you might be listening to us on Spotify or iHeartRadio, Pandora, you name it. But definitely check us out. We talk with our hands. We have a lot of these crazy mannerisms. And we are on YouTube too. So share, subscribe, listen, share with 3 friends, add a comment. We love getting comments from you guys.
And so far we have listeners in over 28 countries. We just want to say thank you. Don't forget to head on over to YouTube or whatever social media platform and drop a comment. Tell us where you're listening from.
Yep.
We'd really appreciate it. Okay, let's get into the topic.
Yes.
So we talked about this actually season 1, maybe 2. We lightly touched on it. There was an article that came out in Playboy literally like umpteen years ago.
Yeah.
And it was a Hollywood madam, not Heidi Fleiss.
Okay.
And she said, for every beautiful woman out there, I can show you a man who's tired of effing her.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't say effing, they said the whole thing.
Yeah,
okay?
of course.
And that, to me, I was married at the time when I read it, and I remember thinking, it was a gut punch.
Yeah.
And I think it was because as women, I know the type of woman you are, the type of wife I was, like the amount of things you go through to look good, to like
smell good, go to the gym and do this,
to be sexy in bed.
And you buy the things and you're like, yes, this is going to be exciting, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, but I'm tired of you.
But he's tired of it. He's tired of filet mignon.
Yeah,
He wants that McDonald's cheeseburger.
What is it? That pink stuff? What is it? That filler?
Ew, I don't know. Like, where are we going with this? I got scared, you guys. Sorry about that. I was like, hold on, because here we go. We got tequila flowing. I was like, you said the pink stuff, and I was like,
You're like, Talia, it's not that kind of show.
Oh my God, I'm like, so much for YouTube. We're going to get banned right now.
You've been banned. You've been banned. Okay, anyway, but you know what I'm talking about. It's like that fake stuff. It's like the fillers. It's like not the real thing. And so, but we would like to believe that we're filet mignon. Maybe to our significant others are like, no, you never know. So, but I do know that, there are women that I've seen in the past. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so stunning. She's so gorgeous. And then all of a sudden, the guy's giving you a little side look, and, then you talk to a girlfriend, and he's like, oh, yeah, he was trying to grab my ass, or he's trying to grab my this, he's trying to take me out, or wink, wink, let's go to lunch, wink, wink, let's go to dinner. And I think it depends on who you're working with and what you're doing in your dynamic. Okay, maybe lunch is, it could be more business, but if someone's inviting you to dinner's so intimate and personal, in my opinion, that I think that you understand there's more of a date going on, and I think that there's a respect you need to have for someone if they're married. And, we often, we talk about this a lot. A lot of women do not respect that.
They do.
But you understand that even if his wife is absolutely stunning, gorgeous, whatever, like, he may just be like my ex and like strippers and hookers. Yeah. And, and it's not to say that maybe I was or wasn't that, but I can compare myself to a person that is to a total pro.
That's like her literal career.
That is what she does. You know what I mean? Like,
like they don't call it a job for nothing, but like that's pro status, and those people get paid. I know that I'm gonna give you ladies a little bit of an eye opener that I had to face, and that was when I gained weight. I gained about 20 pounds in my marriage towards the end that made me feel very uncomfortable. It lowered my self-esteem and everything. But after that, my question to you, sorry, because I want to ask you this. So you gained the weight.
was he saying anything to you as you were gaining the weight? Like, was he was totally receptive to it? Because you hear the stories too where the guys are like,
they're not going to say anything.
Sometimes they're mean.
Yeah, but
I've heard the stories like,
yeah.
you don't look the way you used to. You know, you've gained so much weight.
Yeah,
blah, 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 blah.
You got to think. I mean, 25 pounds, you're going to notice a difference in the face, but it's not like as dramatic as like what I gained after the marriage. And I can tell you that. One of the eye openers. So no, he wasn't mean about it.
No, he wasn't.
Actually, he in that last part, he stopped going to the gym and had a pot belly. So it was like we were in this together, I guess you could say. But after the marriage, people get their revenge bodies and do all this kind of stuff, right? They hit the gym, they get fit, they do all these things. I went the opposite. I had an illness and I got injured.
Right.
And then I gained 50 pounds like this. Okay.
Right.
So hold that thought. So I'm thinking. I'm invisible. Like, I'm thinking, like, there's not even a point for me to be, like, flirting with anybody or whatever. So when I would enter situations where there's a lot of beautiful people around, very wealthy men, some not wealthy, whatever, just men, couples, whatever.
You're around people.
What I ended up going, what? The most confusing thing was I was over 200 pounds, and men who were married to women that looked like absolute 10s were hitting on me.
Mm-hmm.
And they were saying, hey, because I'm a businesswoman, we should go to lunch. And then if I did go to lunch, it'd be like, we should do dinner. And then I'd be like, well, who's going to go to the dinner? And then I'd bring someone with me if I did do the dinner. So because he's married, right? And it became this thing, but all of a sudden here comes the late night messages. And I started to go, what is this? And so at first I thought it's just this person. This person just wants a challenge. It's poor character. Cool. Yes. Then it was the next guy and the next guy and the next guy. So I'm coming to you ladies. I'm still a plus size woman, although I'm losing weight. I will tell you, go to season 1 of this YouTube and look at season 1. Look at me, season 1. That's me sick. I was very sick and everything's struggling and my weight blew up.
I mean, in my opinion, I do this face like, but you look beautiful, by the way. And I'm not just saying this because you're here, like, but in my eyes, I think you were beautiful when I first met you, which I think you probably had just gained the 20 pounds. And then through the transition of doing the first season, which was during 2020, we're in lockdown, COVID, you name it. Like, a lot of people had that COVID weight. And so then you had, like, the illnesses and the issues and so on and so forth. But, you know, I think that you always, in my opinion, I always say this, no matter what, you always showed up for yourself. Your makeup's done, hair's done, one way or another. But, I mean, obviously, what you're trying to say is, like, that never stopped anyone. The weight from here to here, from 150 or 130 to 200, like, the guys are like, what's going on? Care.
So what I want you ladies to do is go to season 1. Just look, just browse through those photos. And when you see me, okay, understand, you could be a size 0 hitting the gym 24/7, not eating carbs, doing all the things, tanning, sculpting, plastic surgery. And there is a man married to a woman like you who is hitting on a woman like that woman from season 1. I'm telling you this. If you want an eye-opener, that is the reality. You're going to sit there and go, no way, blah, 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 this and that.
So I want a little bit more context.
Hold on. I was surprised. Okay, so because I was thin before, then started gaining weight. So I've been on both sides of the spectrum.
So you know what that feels like.
Hot girl and then not girl. I thought, right? So it is the oddest thing ever. So I'm just here to tell you this is a thing.
So my question to you is, I want context, right?
Yeah.
So and I want to know. So with these guys that were like approaching you that are married, are they like trying to approach you because now they're trying to see like if this could be like a side relationship? Is this like a one-time thing? I'm just curious, like what was the offers? Like, are these men are like, hey, let's go to lunch and then maybe dinner, and then are they being like, I want to take care of you? Like, what was the conversation?
So what ends up happening at first for me, I'm in disbelief, so my mind doesn't even allow me to go there. Like, oh, he's trying to hit on me. So I can admit that there were all these
like naive.
things.
You're a little naive about it.
I'm like laughing. And I'm like, oh my God, stop it, you're funny. So I'm not receiving. So that's a good question.
Yeah.
Because they were spitting things out. One of them, it's like I almost feel awkward even like saying the thing.
Yeah,
but like,
it's okay.
But it's like one of them did go down, not one of them, several of them, but the one I'll speak about. And somebody said to him like, hey, have you ever thought about it? And he goes, if I thought I could, I would. This is this person.
Have you thought of having sex? Is that okay,
the one guy who's a high-powered man, we were at a dinner, and he tells this individual that I'm talking about who has money, who's sitting next to me at the table, this high-powered man, okay, my producer friend, okay, says to him, hey man, what's up? Like, why haven't you, like, essentially closed the deal with her?
Yeah.
And he said, if I thought I could, I would. In other words, he admitted that I kept blocking the signals that he was sending. He goes, she's not picking up what I'm putting down. So in that instant, I went, oh, he was serious.
He meant that.
He meant that. So you have to understand in context, I'm coming from hearing these things from these amazing men who are married to amazing women.
And are you now like laughing it off, like, ha ha ha, you're
funny? So of course I do like the odd, oh my God, but when I went home, I go, oh wait, this crap is real. So then he sends me a text message and he goes, oh, I hope I didn't make you feel uncomfortable, but now that I'm serious, like blah, 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 blah. Again, we're talking high-powered man, but in a with a beautiful woman, and I'm sitting here going, what? So because my self-esteem is literally in the trash bin, because I've been
through everything,
and I'm like not happy with my body, I couldn't receive it. But I'm here to tell you, had I been that girl who's like all flattered every time someone looks at me twice, I could have literally closed deals with all these dudes. I'm not saying marriage. I'm not saying marriage. A beautiful woman might not get married either. He just wants to sleep with her. Same identical.
But it's kind of like what you've said before, and it's so funny because I know you've said it in the past, and I was having a conversation with a guy, and you said something like, every woman has one shot with every man. I don't care who he is, where he is, da da da. Like, you might think like, oh, I'm 200 pounds, or
I'm too old, I'm too
this, I'm too haggard, blah blah blah. But he would be willing to go there. I mean, it's not to say that he wants to put a ring on it, he wants to move you in, that he wants to buy you anything. It's just like he'd be willing to do it, like just for the sake of doing it, because that's just the way sometimes guys operate. And when I had this conversation with this particular person, he said he thought about it, and he really, really thought about it. He's like, yeah, you're right. He's like, yeah, like most girls have a shot with a guy, one shot, meaning he's gonna sleep with her. He's gonna be a wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Maybe never call you again, but guess what? You have that shot, and oftentimes I think it's. If you're a woman of respect, with respect, you probably don't want that unless you just don't care. Because there are women that are a little bit more like men. They're like, I don't care. I'm going to get mine. He's going to get his. We're going to get what we want. But the point is that no matter what you look like, is like there's always, not saying that your husband's tired of sleeping with you, but there's always someone else
He's tired of it. He's tired of it. I think as women, we need to not sugarcoat it and accept that we're just human, and they're tired of it. Like, men naturally want variety. It doesn't mean, but it's temptation. And if you lean into your faith says, do not give in to temptation, right? So the faith doesn't say there's no such thing as temptation. Temptation is very normal. You could be a happily married woman and meet a man that you're like, man, he's kind of hot, he's kind of friendly, and like you get the little feelings or whatever. It's very normal. The ring,
personal trainers making you squat all the way down.
Exactly. Like, you're married, you're not buried, right? Like they say.
True.
So you still have all the same things that you're attracted to. True. Chemistry is a mother effer. You can't control like when it's activated. All of that is true for you and your partner, okay? And so it's okay to understand that a man is like, he probably enjoys it with you, but is still wondering what
it would be like
with someone else,
everyone else.
And I think first and foremost, we got to get to that place of understanding that and being understanding about it, not accepting that he should go cheat, but just understanding.
And do you think that because of this, that's why there's like, now, I just seen this on TikTok recently, like, there's like the swingers club and the pineapple outside the door.
Oh gosh,
and right, have you seen that? And so I never heard of that before. I've heard of swingers, but I never knew something about the pineapple.
Like tilted to the side or whatever.
That means like come inside and we're ready to play. And I think that opens a door for all the negativity to come into your marriage, especially if you got married in a Catholic church, Christian church, if you believe in some type of if you believe in if you have some type of faith, I think that you need to kind of go back to ground zero and say, okay, how do we fix this? Because temptation is going to be out there, and I think that you always think that things like other people, other energy is going to solve whatever this is going on in your marriage.
You're the main dish. He's craving a side dish. Let me just bring the sides to him.
Him some mashed potatoes.
You know what I mean? And like here comes the plus
gravy.
size.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I say like with Delia, they look at her and they go, oh, lettuce, and they look at me and they go, potato, and then she's like, don't say that, and I'm all, But men's love potatoes, you know,
potato on some steak, you know, put a little meat and potato, and a man will be so happy.
So if you are a woman, by the way, who is plus size, you know, a little older, whatever the situation might be that you think, oh my God, I don't look as good as her or the person next to you, or whatever. We did an episode just recently about comparing yourself, right?
Oh my gosh,
death of joy for that. So you got to remember that even myself, as a plus size woman, I'm not saying go be with a married man, but I'm saying men will find something attractive about you.
Right.
I do believe that they eat what's in front of them, you know? And so if you are the woman that's in front of them because of your intelligence, because of your affluence, because of your influence, whatever got you in the room with these men, at the end of the day, they're going to find something attractive about you.
Right.
I had one guy tell me he was so confused by the fact that he was so attracted to me.
Oh.
This is at my highest weight. And I go, what? Now, I was laughing because I'm like, this freaking dude is like,
you're like,
honest.
You're like, should I say thank you or should I say F you?
Yeah,
like,
you know
like
what I mean?
what?
You know,
yeah.
But I love these conversations because
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to date the guy or anything.
Yeah.
He just goes, you want to know something? He's like,
Why am
I can't stop staring at you. And I go, oh, okay. And I go, well, I'm blind, so if I look like I'm staring, I'm not. I'm just trying to focus, you know. And we were laughing, and we were in a group setting, and he goes, I find you so attractive. And I'm like confused by it because his type, by the way, was more of like a very thin girl. He said tits on a stick, right, and all this kind of stuff. And I get it. I'm like, that's everyone's type, you know. So at the end of the day, we had a very open.
That's everyone's type.
No, but I think
but
men.
I get what you're saying.
We're just
I get what you're
his type.
saying.
That's his
generally.
type.
Yeah.
All his exes, his current girlfriend, by the way, probably a 00 with these big beautiful boobs, and like the whole thing. And it was really and he was having a very honest conversation with me. He wasn't trying to pick up on me. He was like, I just realized something. And I'm like,
But you know what I think it is though. I think a lot of the time it's really nice to look at someone that looks good because guys are visual, right?
yes.
And so guys will, stop what they're doing if a beautiful woman walks in because they're very visual. They're very stimulated by that. But I think that after, that they clear their eye vision and then they sit down and have a conversation with you, can you hold a conversation? Can you actually stimulate the mind? Can you do that? Because you can stimulate the body, but can you stimulate the mind? Can you have a conversation where it's like, wow, you guys have a dialogue that is going back and forth, which is like good synergy. And I think that you have that. So obviously, a lot of the time, yes, you're going to get the 00 with the big boobs and the this and the that, but they're just airheads maybe, and maybe they can't even hold a conversation or a dialogue. And so, yes, it's important to look a certain way. I could see that. But even then, though, like the guy could get tired of sleeping with you. But if you can stimulate the mind, you can stimulate the soul.
You just never. And by the way, and all that aside, even no conversation. I was at a attorneys conference by accident. By the way, in Anaheim at this.
There is no accident. It
was like not. So here I am surrounded by all these high-powered attorneys. It was a bar association event. And I'm there and this man sees me, I guess, from across the room, and he comes over and he goes, I just have to compliment you on your hair. And so I was like, oh, thank you so much. And then I said, thank you. And I started turning around. He goes, no, let me get you a drink, and everything. So then I was like, okay. So I took the drink, and then that was it. He didn't even let me say much. He was just like, oh, I'm here for the thing. And he's looking at me and he goes, you look very soft. And then I go, because it's like, I think they're fat. So what I'm getting at is like, if they're married to like a super hard body, which I told you, a man that his wife competes on ESPN2 for fitness, did the same thing. Like he's a high-powered person at a Fortune 500 company. I won't ever say his name. Yes. And he said, my wife, he showed me pictures of her, and I was like, okay. And he also says, you look so soft. Like I'm so tempted to like try you. Ladies, go to season 1.
You're like, listen to me. I am not Pillsbury no more. Okay.
So we're not doing it. I'm just not gonna go there.
You're like, we're not doing that.
So what I'm saying is,
be respectful, dude.
Don't be so hard on yourself on this whole thing, because you can be Miss Perfect 10. And they're gonna get a little bored with it. They're gonna get curious with the Asian girl if you're a white girl. With maybe a colored girl if you're a Latina.
I think that the message here then would be, I mean, we've been saying this here this season a lot. Obviously that, the desires and the wants and the feelings and all those things are not going to stop, right? Because we're human and we're still living, and men are more animalistic. And so I think that if you can, if you have some type of faith or religion, like, I mean, I don't know, I don't want to Bible thump, but I definitely think that if the person has some type of moral compass, you might think like, yeah, it'd be dope to be with that Asian girl because I heard they're crazy.
Yeah.
And yes, Latinas are like fiery, and then there's this and there's that. And so you start to stimulate the mind and the thoughts, you know, because you start thinking about how it would be. But I think if you have some type of, you know, discernment to know that you have to have a moral compass and like God saying, you know, that's not right.
Yeah.
Then I think that, you know, you married a person for a reason. And if that means that, you know, you tell your wife, hey, we're going to go to the wig store and we're going to buy some red
You know what
wig.
I mean? We're going to spray paint the kitty.
Where could you get a spray painted kitty
First
anyway?
of all, I know Delia's going to use this clip and be like, it's not on brand, but we're going to do it.
We're going to spray paint the kitty.
We're going to spray
I'm
paint
like,
the kitty.
where do you even get that done? I haven't heard of waxing that, but I've never heard of spray painting it.
We're going to bejewel the kitty.
Guys, we are going to have, on the next season, we're going to have this
Bejewel
franchise of how
bejewel
to
your kitty.
spray your kitty and how to bejewel,
Bejewel,
bedazzle
yeah.
it. That's going to hurt the dude, though, I think. I don't know. It doesn't sound very, like, good, but
I think at the end of the
know.
day, you have to have a lot of self-love, and there are women that are plus size
Yes.
or older, and they have such self-love, and they feel so confident in their own skin that confidence comes through in the bedroom, and it is an absolute positive turn on
Right.
to the opposite sex. Oprah Winfrey said an amazing thing one day back in the day when she had her show, because she was very insecure. You know, she's a heavy black woman, all this kind of stuff. And somebody said to her, a man said, when you're the only naked woman in the room, you're the most beautiful thing that we see. And you have to just remember that in the moment, even if you know
But
deep
I think
inside he's tired.
it's subconsciously you're thinking, yes, you're the most beautiful and the only thing that he sees, but then you're like the only thing that he's seeing. So you're like the focus of attention. And so you are
Now you're like, my hips.
yeah, because
my
you're
love
hyper
handles.
focusing because you're hyper focusing on your
Yes.
imperfections and the things that, you know, I always say, like, when you come out of the shower, right? And there's the one thing, that little area you hate, or the back area, or the this or the that, or the back of the legs or whatever. And
Cellulite.
it's like, yes, and that is like the first thing. Like, everything else can look on point, and you're like, oh, I hate my legs, or I hate my stomach, or I hate the this. And a lot of the time people aren't looking at those things, but we hyper focus
Yes.
on our imperfections. And at the end of the day, we are imperfect. And I
Yes.
think that we forget that because why? Because we are being force fed these images
Porn and everything,
of
yeah.
porn, of social media that like has all the filters, and I am freaking guilty of it,
Yeah.
right? Because when someone takes a raw picture, I'm like, wait,
You're like, who's that?
who
It's
is that? Like, she needs Botox.
And can we just say that we're driving ourselves mad as women over hairy belly, pot bellied, bitch tit having older dudes, and we're
Right?
like, but that's my man, and
But
we're
that's
just
my
like,
man.
and I'm a sucker for a dad bod. I'm good.
I'm not
if
a
you say,
sucker
you
for
know,
a dad bod. I'm
but-
sorry.
but it's like,
Oh Lord. And the hairy nipples, not so much of a sucker. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, and I am an equal opportunist. I love everybody. Everyone's
my God.
beautiful, but no. Like,
so
like handle
to
that.
close
man.
this one, if you're a man listening, shave your nipples. Shave
I mean,
them.
there's no need to have like that situation. Every once in a while, I get it. Like, we all kind of falter, but handle it.
Yeah.
But you know, at the end of the day, no matter what you look like, no matter what you do and how you do and where you do it and how sexy and how great you think you are and what a great cook and you bake and you do all the things, you be Jennifer Lopez, honey, and they are gonna go out on you, okay?
Yes.
So just be the best version of yourself, because that's how you want to show up to the world.
That's it.
And that's it. Like, there is no reason to get upset over what he did or didn't do. It's like, it is what it is. Be the best version of yourself.
Hey, if he
and that's
shows
it.
up for you and he wants to have sex time with you tonight, that's all you got to worry about. Don't think about the porn he was watching earlier. Don't think about the coworker he was around earlier. Don't think about the girl you saw, that your body's not like hers. Just do your thing.
Do your thing. Get
your
your wig
freak
on.
Get your freak on.
Get your freak on and do your thing. So
right,
we're
ladies.
going to close off this episode with, you know what, just have love for yourself. Self-love is most important. And yes, you may never make him happy 100%. So just make yourself happy.
You deserve
You deserve
fresh
fresh
lettuce. Cheers.